see. Together we pray and work and play in happy harmony. We have a faith to share with others everywhere. A message of love from God above to show the world we care. Advent is you, Advent is you, Advent is you. Also, to let everybody know, I am the AY leader of Brownsville. So, hello. Hi. You may be seated.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Testing 1, 2. Okay, I'm getting a lot of text messages. Everybody's looking for parking. People are on their way. So I know we have Living Word that's here today. Everybody give them a round of applause. Clap for them, Living Word. They're going to do a special music for us today. They have a very awesome praise set, which I love, and you guys are going to enjoy it as well. My name is Joshua Joseph. I'm the chaplain for the Brownsville Youth Department. Today, you guys know it's dating workshop, and I want to welcome each and every one of you that came out today. We're going to have fun. If you're married, raise your hands if you're married. Okay, if you're single, raise your hands. Raise your hands high in the sky. I need to see it. All right. So, and if you're looking, raise your hands. If you're looking for that special person. No, just be real. We're here to be real about it. We're here to be real about it. Now, this is the second part to the dating workshop. The first part was about how dating really started. Does anybody know how dating started? Nobody knows? How was dating back in the 1900s? Does anybody know? They had to go to their parents, okay, and they had to chill on the porch, or if they were in the house, the parent had to sit right there in the living room. That's how it was in the 1900s. So we went through all of that. So today we're going to be discussing the stages of the relationship and intimacy and accountability. We have 10 series parts to this dating workshop, and hopefully some of you guys do find true love to Brownsville Seventh Adventist Church and become a member here, right? Yeah, that's the plan. That's what we're doing, you know? So we're going to be having, and we're also going to be doing something called sip and paint speed dating night. She said, when? Don't worry. The fly going, don't worry. We're going to get there. All right. So, guys, I want to invite Living Word up to come and give us the piece. Oh, stand over there? Oh, I have to stand right here? This is fine? It's good? All right. So I saw this group a few weeks ago at their church, and when they did this set, listen, church, you're going to love it. You guys are going to want to do it all the time, all right? So I'm going to hand the mic over to Sammy, who is the leader, and he's going to introduce himself and his praise team.
Good afternoon, everybody. So, we may be few in numbers. God is still in the midst, right? That's what we believe in, right? The song is a little weird. It's a little weird. But at the end of the day, we're still here to give God praise, right? 1, 2, 1, 2.
1, 2.
1, 2, 1, 2. So just repeat as I say. All right? Ahoo, ah, hey, aha. Ahoo, aha. Ahoo, ah, hey, aha. Everybody. Everybody say 1, 2, ah. Ahoo, aha. Ahoo, ah, hey, aha. Ahoo, aha. Ahoo, ah, hey, aha. Come on, everybody. In the morning, early in the morning, I will rise and praise. Come on, everybody. In the morning, early in the morning, I will rise and praise the Lord. Say good morning, Jesus. Good morning, Jesus.
Jesus. Good morning, Lord.
I know you come from
I know you come from
heaven above. The Holy Spirit sits on the throne. Good morning, Jesus.
Good morning, Jesus.
Good morning. Come on, one more time. Good morning.
Good morning, Jesus. Good morning, Lord.
I know you come
from
heaven above. The Holy Spirit sits on
the throne.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jesus.
Let's go.
Good
Said
morning,
I will enter his gates with thanksgiving in my heart. I will enter his courts with praise. I will say this is the day
that the Lord has
I will rejoice for you. Come on, one more time. Said I will enter
his gates with thanksgiving in my heart.
I will
enter his courts with praise.
I will say this
is the day that the Lord has made.
I will rejoice,
for he has made me glad.
and he has made me glad.
He has made me glad. He has made me glad.
I will rejoice, for
I will rejoice, for he has made me glad.
He has made me.
He has made me glad. He has made me glad.
I will rejoice,
for he has made me glad.
He never failed.
He never failed me yet. He never failed me
Jesus Christ
yet.
never failed. Come on, just chorus it.
Failed me yet.
Everywhere. I want the world
to
Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ never failed me yet.
I Ahoo, aha, ahoo, ahe, aha, ahoo, aha, ahoo, ahe. Come on, everybody. What a mighty God, say
What a mighty God we serve.
What a mighty God we serve.
What a mighty God we serve.
Angels bow before him.
Angels bow before him.
Hear my
Heaven and earth adore
say,
him.
what a mighty God.
Mighty God we serve.
Hear my cry.
Hear my cry, oh Lord.
Bring it up, attend unto my prayer. And from the
ends of
will
the
I cry,
earth,
will I cry unto thee. Said when my heart is overwhelmed, when my heart is
overwhelmed,
but everybody lead me to that cross
lead me to the rock
that is higher than I. That is higher than I.
that is higher.
Come on, everybody.
than I.
Let's break it up. Say higher, 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 higher,
Higher, higher,
higher, higher.
higher, 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 higher.
Lift Jesus.
Lift Jesus higher.
Say higher, higher.
Higher, higher.
Come on, put it up. Put it up.
Higher, 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 higher.
Lift Jesus.
Lift Jesus
Come on.
higher.
Say lower, lower.
Lower, lower.
Lower, lower.
Lower, 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 lower.
Stop Satan.
Stop Satan, lower.
Say lower, lower.
Lower, lower.
Say lower, lower.
Lower, 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 lower.
Come on. Since you have the hands up,
Satan, lower.
I command my hands to praise the Lord. I command my hands to praise.
Praise the Lord.
Said I command my hands.
To praise the Lord.
I command my hands
Command my hands
to praise.
to praise the
Look it up,
Lord.
say hands, hands, praise the Lord. Say hands,
Hands.
say praise.
Praise the Lord.
Said hands, hands, praise the Lord. Hands. Come on.
Praise
I command my body to praise. Honestly, I'm gonna do that sitting down. I command my body to praise the Lord. I command my. I really want to see how you're gonna command your body to do it sitting down. I command my
body.
Come on then.
To praise
Said
the
body, body.
Lord. Praise the Lord.
Said body. what shall I render to Jehovah? For he has done so
very much for me.
What shall I render?
What shall I render
to Jehovah?
Jehovah?
We didn't do the chorus before, we're gonna do it now.
For he has done
So very
much
say
for me.
Nara, 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 say Nara, 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 Kele, Nara, Kele, mo. You don't know that, right? Nara, Nara, he, Nara, Kele, Nara, Kele, mo. Thank you very much.
Amen. You guys don't know it? Ooh. Thank you so much, guys. Give them a round of applause, please, 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 please. Give me 1 second. What church is in here today? Okay, okay, okay. We got Triumphant. We also got Lighthouse in the house too. Who else is in here? All right, no, I know this is Brownsville House. You're saying Brownsville. You not mentioned? New Life. Okay, we got New Life in here. What else? We got Beacon of Light. Whoop. Raise your hands. A little light in the corner. Yeah. Christian Fellowship is in here as well. Huh? Flatbush. Whoa. Okay, Flatbush. Who else? Who else? I see Candon in here. What church you from, Candon? What church? You better talk up. You said Ephesus. All right. Give me a second, guys. Give me 1 second. Here it goes. Here it goes. This is gonna be side A. This is gonna be side B. Side A is gonna create. You guys gonna work together to create the perfect spouse. What the perfect spouse should be like. Right? You're gonna create that one, the perfect spouse. And over here, you guys are gonna do the same thing. So you guys are gonna do the perfect spouse as according to like what you think a guy should have, what a guy should be. And you guys are gonna do the female section over here. Is that all right? Is that cool? No? Let's try it. Let's try it. All right, so you guys gotta get into groups. Got only, huh? More guys over here. So do the guys want to create the perfect female and then the women want to do that? That's good? All right, so you guys are going to have to get up. No, that's for the program. All right, so I need all the guys. So, okay, there's more guys on this side, right? So ladies, go on that side over here. Ladies, go on that side and let the guys come on this side. You don't want to split up? Come on, guys. Let's try it. Let's try it. Just 5 things of 5 traits of what you want your spouse to have. Like, what you want them to be. No, one big group, yeah. Yeah. You guys got 3 minutes, 3 minutes, 3 minutes.
traits. That's the word I'm looking for. 5 traits of the perfect woman. So on our list, we actually have 6 because, bonus points. On our list, we have the perfect woman is God-fearing. The perfect woman is loyal/supportive. The perfect woman is nurturing, submissive, fruitful, and just for bonus points, the perfect woman is attractive.
All right, okay. All right, this group, who's leading out in this group? All right, give it to Carrie Ann.
All right. So we're doing the perfect man. Of course, he's God-fearing. He's loyal. He's understanding. He's respectful. Yes. He's level-headed. He's a provider. Yeah. That's fine. Yes, and he looks good.
Is that all? All right. Okay, okay. Doesn't matter if he works at McDonald's? Doesn't matter? Does it really matter if he works at McDonald's? All right, guys, we're about to start our discussion. We're going to invite Sister Jillian Walker Williams to the front, please. Walk up to the front. That's our panelist. Come on, walk up. Come on, give a round of applause. Then we're going to invite Karen Gustav. Come on. All right. Jody couldn't make it this evening because he got sick during the week with the stuff in the air because he has, bad asthma. So he couldn't make it tonight. So we're going to pray for him. And then we're going to invite our very own Pastor Mota to the... Come on. Yes, we do. He's on his way. So he's... Oh, Jesus, Lord. He's not late. He's on time. He is on time. Where's my phone? Oh. He is on time. No, he was preaching.
Oh.
All right, guys, so let's do this today. Let's make this happen. So I want you guys to also write down some notes as well. Because towards the end, we're going to give you guys a prize for the notes that you have. Because being in a relationship, what's the end goal? Getting in a relationship. Who said marriage? You sure should be the end goal? You sure heaven should be the end goal? If you get into a relationship, what should be the end goal, guys? Come on, talk. What should be the end goal? Salvation? Okay. All right. So in the last dating workshop, we were introduced to 3 principles that should govern our dating relationships. What were those 3? What were those 3 dating relationship principles? Does anybody know? I know you guys weren't here, but what do you think those 3 should be? All right, so there are 3 principles that should be governed in our relationship. What are those 3 principles? Come on.
Trust and respect.
You can say anything. I'm going to say the first one. It has marriage as its goal. Endless casual dating is not appropriate for a Christian. Is that true or false?
True.
Who said false?
True. I didn't say that. Endless, casual.
All right. It is initiated and led by the men. Since we're trying to figure out if we should get married, we want to begin to try on the roles we'll adopt once we're married. And the next one is, it is a community project. Do you believe that?
Yes.
All right. We should be getting advice and accountability from our church family, if not also from our families or origin. So what does a relationship look like that embodies these three principles? That's where we're going to be looking at today. But before we begin, I already introduced the panelists. So today we're going to talk about the stages of relationship. Then after this session, if we have any time, we'll talk about the intimacy and accountability. So all right, folks, let's dig into the topic. Friendship. Let's talk about the first stage, friendship. What should friendship be like? Talk to me, guys. Yeah, I'm talking to the audience. What should friendship be like? Yeah, with the opposite sex.
No, friendship start. No,
Boundaries.
friendship
Get it
start
to
with
know them.
everybody.
Okay. What else? Talk to me. Talk to me. So, say that again.
Oh, say so they can hear me for the people in the back. All right. If you're gonna be a friend, be a friend. You'll be friends with hidden intentions.
No hidden intentions. You guys got your. Guys. Hey. Oh, I ain't gotta talk now. Don't have to talk. All right. So, is it true
I have one.
that the male is supposed to initiate first?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
In 2023, is it true that the male is supposed to initiate first? Sister Merrill's Hall in the back said no. They're not some sort of. Come on, talk to me. So who's supposed to initiate first? Anybody? I don't know. Like, hey, I'm coming up to you. You look good. I want to, take you on and let me get your number. That type of initiating. Go ahead.
Hello. I think whoever wants who should initiate. I think that we waste time like batting eyes and being flirtatious to the other person of the opposite sex. I think if you want the person, you should communicate that. Some men are not, everyone has their own personality, and you may have characteristics you want in a man, but it doesn't take away from his entire being because he doesn't have that one specific characteristic. Some men are scared to speak to women, but when they get comfortable, they're okay with saying their truth and how they really feel. So I think you can waste time in enjoying something so beautiful as love by waiting on a person just to say how you feel.
Okay.
But when you say how you feel, are you okay with him saying, no, I don't want you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Nothing you can do about it.
He may not be interested.
I mean, no
and
one's
what do
telling
you
me
look
that,
like
but-
going after somebody who's telling you they're not interested? Maybe that's the problem. All these women are pursuing men that don't want them.
Such an attraction.
All right, so we're gonna jump. What do you think stage 2 should be? If you have friendship, what do you think stage 2 should be? Anybody know? Stage 2. Stage 1 is friendship. What do you think stage 2 should be?
Getting to know the person.
From friendship to courting? For real? That's how we doing it in the church now? I know it's 2023, but you got to get in a friendship. You don't know the person like that in a friendship. So there's stages to this. So this is called early dating. What you said? She said dating. Early dating. Early dating. Now years ago, dating was what? What was dating? Come on, guys. I need you guys to talk. Back home in Grenada, Guyana, what was dating in those times? In the 60s. We got to see what the dating was like. They used to be in a veranda, right? Chilling with your mother there or father there watching what's going on. Today, dating is very different in 2023. So what's dating looking like today? What does dating look like? Come on, let's talk. Now, right now. Today you're friends, tomorrow you get married. That's how it is right now, right? But come on, talk to me, guys. What is dating looking like today? Ozzy. Say that again. Dating looks like what? Is she right? Oh. What? She is right. Dating looks like marriage today.
Shut up.
Oh, yeah. It looks like marriage. You know, I got a couple of friends. They're not here today, so that's why I'm going to talk about them. They're not here, but I think they're looking online. But still, they meet somebody tomorrow. The next day, they're ironing their clothes, cooking food for them. They moving in with them, and then that's dating right now, guys. Do you believe that? That's dating right now. I'm serious. A lot of people right now. I said something wrong? Hold on, I said something wrong? Huh? Today that's how it is today. You know what I mean? You can't say anything about it because people are rushing to get married, right? All right. You said no, they not? You were just trying to. All right, guys. So what's the next stage? So we got friendship, early dating. What else? What's the third one? Early dating. All right. I'm about to tell you right now. So early dating basically is time together with the person. Getting to know the person, who the person is. You know what I mean? Now, when I married my wife, right? I'm gonna give you guys a little story. When I married my wife, now I'm gonna talk about it. I told you, it's gonna happen, right? I gotta talk about my experience so I could help others out there. Not, right? True. So we were dating, and the lady that's sitting next to my wife happens to be no, not the lady. The lady behind her is her mother, right? So I used to stop by the house. There was a certain time I had to leave though. She would never leave me stay there past 7 o'clock. She would be by the door, and she because you know why she comes to me? Because the husband is in the back in the room saying, Grace, he has to go now, So I didn't know what dating was before until I met my wife and her family because they from Grenada, you know what I mean? So they know how dating is supposed to be. So she tried to implement that same thing with her daughter. So we started dating, and then after that, I had to get to know her family. There are some family members, in her family that's kind of crazy, but that didn't turn me away from her love because it was just her and I. But sometimes you have to read signs, though. You got to read the signs with family members. Some families who aren't good, and some families who are good, who aren't good and who are good. But at the same time, you have to read. You got to look at the family you're about to be married into, because once you marry your wife, you marry the whole family. Do you believe that? Now, do you guys believe that? So the things my wife used to do for her mother, I'm doing that now for her as well. So if she used to pick her up to go to work, I got to do that too, because now it's a bond now. It's a family thing, So now you have the time together. So my wife, we spent time to get to know each other. There were some ups and downs, you know what I mean? After a couple of months, she showed her true colors. My wife is not an easy person, but what I love about her is because she's real. So I knew that during the dating process. Now, accountability in the dating process. What does accountability mean to you guys? Trust. What else? Why? Yeah, he's on his way, but I'm trying to see. Come on, talk to me, guys. Talk to me.
Repeat the question.
Give me a second. Yeah, what's accountability in, give me a second, in a relationship, yeah. In the early dating is accountability. You have time together, then you have accountability. What is that? So I'm going to read something from here. At this point in the relationship, you need to bring in others who know your relationship and can help you guard your hearts. Now, in Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23, it says, above all else, guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life. Now, the girl has the kind of relationship with her father where he's already been brought in. She'd never think of dating a guy without her father's blessing. And she told him, oh no, sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing. Forgive me, guys. I'm kind of nervous here because I was supposed to do this. But accountability, though, it's basically you knowing, what you're getting yourself into because you already started the time together. Now, the accountability part is, hey, what am I really in this for? What am I getting into? Why am I doing this? Guys, panelists, I need your help on this one.
Happy Sabbath. Is it the accountability question?
Testing.
Oh, accountability is okay. There we go. Amen. Go ahead, man. Do your thing.
Well, I mean, I'm just going from the basis of what accountability, definition of accountability. That means you don't have to necessarily have your partner looking over your shoulder. You want to be accountable for everything you do. And if you apply the word respect in your relationship, then automatically you will have accountability. You will tell your wife, okay, I'm coming home at this time, you know, I'm hanging out at this time. Well, dating, it applies to a relationship. Relationship, there's stages in relationship. So I'm saying accountable, you want to say where you are at, you know, do things that will not, that she don't have to tell you to do. So you want to hold yourself accountable to all aspects in building your relationship. Yep.
Okay.
I definitely agree with you. I think communication and clarity goes hand in hand with accountability, because accountability is self. I don't want to say just what he's married. I can be dating a man and I'm telling him I don't like this, or I need you to do this, or I need you to do that. But if he's not doing it, that's not on me, that's on him. So accountability is very much a self characteristic one should have. But I also feel like clarity and communication really aids in that accountability. So before getting into a relationship with someone, it goes back to stage one. No, I think stage two is early dating. It goes back to stage two. Or it can also go back to friendship, being very clear in your expectations. If you no, because you wouldn't be living with your person you're dating, what I would hope so. But if you are dating someone and they're constantly going out or spending more time with their friends, being very clear that, hey, I need at least 3 days a week out of the 7 days. Or being very clear in, hey, certain things, you going to a bunch of parties doesn't work for me. Or you going to parties and dancing with girls doesn't work for me. Just like as basic as that can avoid an entire argument or an entire person being upset. Just and communication, like, hey, I need you to talk to me. Yeah, you could be hanging with me, but let's say you're playing your game, or let's say I'm on the phone with my friends. Like, no, I actually genuinely want to spend time with you, just me and you. So I think communication and clarity really aids in accountability, because then it's like I was very clear and the other person is just not respecting the things that I need, then this doesn't work for me. And you have to be willing to walk away and not dragging things out for the sake of saying, I have someone or I can call someone. So that's just my part.
Hold up a second.
I think accountability is both ways. I mean, in a relationship, whatever you want in a relationship, and you want the other partner to respect in a relationship, then, according to the sister there, communication and both persons must lay out what they expect from each other, and you respect each other.
This
Okay.
part of the relationship, you have now decided that this is the person I want to be with. So accountability here is about honor and holiness. If we're gonna go forward in this relationship and I'm gonna make you my husband, I want you to know that this is what I stand for. This is what I want to pursue in our marriage. We're now saying, okay, we're getting ready for marriage, but what is marriage gonna be like? Am I gonna be shacking up with you now? Are you gonna be mad with me if I say no? I am waiting until my wedding night. These are the discussion that you are having. And when you discuss honor and holiness, you're accountable for each other, because I want to protect your honor, whereas I still want to remain holy.
Oh, okay. So when I hear accountability when it comes to dating, I also hear responsibility. So there has to be things like, I know in a relationship we grow together, right? So it's meaning doing the things that you're saying you're gonna do and operating on a basis of like integrity, because you both want the best for each other and holding certain standards for each other.
Yes. And this is the time when you know if the person is real or fake. Because if he says, I'm gonna be there at 6 o'clock and I'm taking you out, and then he come back and say, no, I didn't say that. Hello. you know, or you say, I'm coming forward to do this, and we're going to do this, and now he's not showing up, he's not doing what he says he was supposed to do, then he's not taking accountability for his action. This is already not even a red flag. This is a passer flag, a burnt flag. No, Gracie.
I just think it's doing what you say you're gonna do.
Yes.
You don't say one thing and you're doing something else. That's how I look at it. And remember, we are dating, right? So I think some of it we going like, though we married already, but we are dating. So you're doing something. You say you're gonna do that, then do it. Let us do that. That's how I see it.
Another thing I want to add is that we're human. We fail at times. Your spouse or your significant other is never going to be perfect. And I think that is so important that, kind of like in school, when you get a syllabus, whatever class you're going to, you get a syllabus. It might seem crazy or abnormal, but there's nothing wrong with creating your own little syllabus for your marriage, for your dating, and you and your significant other, you pray over that every night. Amen. We're human. That man, he might sit there and say, hey, I agree with you. We're not gonna have sex until we get married. We're on this track to get married. And he has a moment where he's outside with his friends and he has a fun time. A different kind of fun time, not a regular kind of fun time, not a Christian kind of fun time, but he has a fun time. Or you, the other way, or maybe the two of you, you're weak and you're home alone and you're human and you falter. I think it's super important to, in your accountability, help ask God for accountability as well. Go over those rules or those things that you're very big on in your relationship and pray with your significant other at night. If I can't pray with you every night in the dating phase, how am I going to pray with you every night in our marriage phase? You have to be realistic. Just because that person is not sleeping with you in the same house with you or apartment with you while you're dating does not mean that their characteristic is going to change when they get married to you. A man is not going to miraculously change, and a woman, 1,000%, is not going to miraculously change. Change comes with time. Be accountable in your Christian walk and understand. Even God in the Bible, God says, my word does not come back void. But human promises, God says, I know you will fail me sometimes. That's okay. Look at Peter. Peter was one-on-one, hand-in-hand with Jesus. And what did he do? Oh, I don't know him. Not once, not twice, 3 times. I don't know that man. Sorry to this man. I don't know him. So the reality of it is that humans will fail, and that's okay. God knows we'll fail, but that's why God's grace is so sufficient. So you have to be ready and willing to put that work in.
I just want to be clear that if my boyfriend does that, I don't know her, he don't know me no more. I think here's the problem, and I agree with you. There is a place for grace in relationships, and there's also a place for self-respect.
No, I'm not talking about cheating. I'm talking about
No. I'm not saying cheating. I'm not talking about cheating. What I was going to say is everyone has a different threshold of tolerance. What you can tolerate may not be what someone else can tolerate. Also, you have to be realistic when you're going to date someone. So I am a serial dater. I will date you, and then it's not working, I'll date you, and it don't work, and I date you, and it don't work. And I think the issue is not getting to know different people. The issue is that when I just said I date multiple people, some people in here thought that I slept with multiple people.
That's
right.
Not dating.
That's not how I define dating. I think the problem is how you define dating. I will go on a dinner date, I will hear or see something from that person that I know will not mesh, and not because I'm a woman, but because I'm a pastor, and the kind of caliber of man that I have to have by my side may not be the caliber of men that someone else may be willing to have by their side. Amen. And so you have to know yourself enough to know what you are looking for in a spouse. So when I date someone, right, if he takes me to a restaurant It doesn't matter if it's a very expensive one or a very inexpensive one. I'm more worried about how he treats the people that are serving us.
Amen.
And if he's disrespectful to them, who he doesn't know, how is he going to be respectful to me, who he only knows very limited about?
Yes.
And what if I say something that he finds flippant and then he decides to treat me the way he treated the waiter that got the order wrong? So those are things that people don't realize when they're going on dates. If you're a guy and you like your girl to have natural hair and you don't like her to have anything aesthetically added to her, take her to a pool.
Hello.
Or tell her that.
Right.
That
Take
communication.
her to the beach. Take her swimming. Take her to a body of water. And then you will see what she looks like. And then you can make an informed decision on whether this is someone that you want to wake up next to.
Is she gonna dip her head in the pool?
I think that we spend way too much time. Here it is. I think that we spend way too much time trying to tell everyone else how to live their lives. At the end of the day, the person that's going to go home to that person and lay their head next to that person is you. No one else is going to have to deal with their bad breath. No one else is going to have to deal with their snoring. No one else will have to deal with their daily attitudes. No one else will have to deal with their bad money habits. No one else will have to deal with how they eat and what they do and who their friends are except you. Because you're the other party in that relationship. So you have to find someone not that completes you. That's not what I'm saying. Because if you're not complete, no one else can do that for you.
You either. Serious.
And when you meet someone, you meet them, and Henry Wright said this, and I have never forgotten this. Henry Wright said, when you meet someone, you're meeting them in the level of spiritual, emotional, and mental maturity that you're in at that moment. So you're attracting someone that meets you where you are. And if both of you are okay staying there, then cool. But if either of you are trying to move forward, you're going to get in a really bad situation, because when you're ready to get help and you lift that bar, that person won't be able to reach it. So just be honest with yourself. Don't say, I want a godly man if you don't pray. I'm sorry. Like, how are you going to sit there and say, God, please, I really want a manly, when you hear these charts, they always make me laugh, right? Oh, my ideal guy is cute. Are you cute? And I don't mean that in an offensive way. What I'm saying is, will someone look at you and say, wow, she really has herself together? Because you're looking for something that maybe you yourself aren't. So all I'm saying is that when it comes to dating, the first thing you need to do is define what dating means to you. Yes. If you're not trying to find a spouse, then don't go out there and lie to these people. Don't tell the girl, oh, I want a spouse, I want a wife. And then you know what she does? God bless her heart. She becomes the wife, right? She cooks for him, she cleans, she does his laundry, she does all this stuff. And then when he ghosts her, she's like, well, what did I do wrong? Nothing, he lied to you. But then what happens is you start dating the next guy, and I ain't gonna do nothing because the last guy that I did it for.
Yes.
Just be honest when you're out there meeting someone. Say what you want. If they don't mean that and they will show you, believe them. If they say they want a wife, but they're not acting like a husband, then they don't want a wife. They want a servant. And if you're okay being that, then sis, power on. We all ain't able, all right? We all ain't able. So if you see the way that he spends money is something that you can't get down with, that should be a conversation that you're having from the beginning. I don't like how you spend your money. I see how you spend it. Is this something that we can work on together? And if he's like, stay out of my pockets, then your number's getting out of my phone. That's it. Like, if we were just more honest, we wouldn't have to have dating workshops. Go ahead, Josh. And by the way, earlier when I went like this, that wasn't me. That was...
What happened? Don't do that.
I am listening.
That was Karen.
I am listening to the conversation, both the pro and the cons, and I think from my standpoint, I'm looking at the young people who are here. I'm looking at the young ladies as well as the young men, and I'm saying to myself, if they are all Seventh-day Adventists in one church or the other, or in your church, wouldn't you have some time to be studying the person, if the person is in your church, to be understudying that person? Even before the person even know that you are interested, you are watching and you are making your marks and you are looking. So once if you are going to make that move,
Yes
you
and no,
have a
Sister
good-
Wedderburn,
you have a
because
good-
not everybody's honest about who they are in here.
that might be true too, but you should be you should be looking, you should be eyeballing the person, you should be questioning, and then you don't even have to go directly to the person. But there is so much you can learn by just looking at the way the person interact in church, the person interact around their friends, around other young ladies. Then you can make a real good assessment if brother so and so will be a good mate, or if sister so and so will be a good, how she dress, how she speak, how she carries herself, what's her deportment around men. What would you can see what I would be like by the way I bring myself to church. Sometimes you can't even trust it, but take for instance, you have Sabbath after Sabbath after Sabbath, Sunday night, Wednesday night, coming. You have other ways of seeing them out. There's so much ways we can stay around and assist who we are looking for. And if you don't find it in this Adventist church, go to another Adventist church. But please stay in the fold, because let me tell you, once you be getting one from the outside to bring in, you will never be able to make the changes that you are looking for. So stay on the ship, choose one from, something my sister said, get somebody. It might be a little bit not what you're looking for, but work with that person to bring the person to who you want the person to be. Build up. Take one, build him up. Don't look for the doctor when you can the eye is only for a tailor. Be the best tailor you are and look for the best person who you think you can find. But at the same time, don't raise your bar too high. It's better you pick one and grow together. You have a better chance of holding that relationship. Don't put your hand up to bring one down to you. Stay on the level, and bring one around to you. Ladies as well as gentlemen, bring one face to face with you. Don't pull down, it won't last, and don't go down to pull up. See if you can stay on your level and look, observe, study, then you make your leap. When you leap like that, you'll be sure you will have hiccups, but that you can work out. No husband and wife don't have it 100% clean and neat and easy and happy. Financially, sometimes we butt head. In the house, you butt head. Relationship, you butt head sometimes. So don't expect to find out perfect. There's nothing like a perfect relationship. Young people, stay on the ship as you are. You came from different churches to Brownsville. You might not see anybody in Brownsville. Go to Christian Fellowship. You might not, but just don't stay in Brownsville and turn an old woman. Spin around. Listen, I'm not laughing, man. Listen.
I just want to add to what she's saying. I think the reality of it is, let's say you go to, what's this event? Rally Day? Let's say you go to Rally Day, you meet someone. That person may not necessarily be in your church. You'll account to them, you get their number, good for you, but you may not see them all the time every Saturday. And the reality of it is, which I'm so happy that Josue and Pastor is having these events, is that a lot of the youth just come on Saturday and they go home. So no, I'm not gonna see you Wednesday night, because quite frankly, I'm not showing up Wednesday night, but I'm probably not gonna see you Friday night if there's no youth service going on Friday night. I'm predominantly probably gonna see you Saturday if I visit your church, hypothetically, if you and I don't go to the same church. But I think this is where accountability comes from, and everyone is different, and she's fine with saying she's a serial dater. Everyone's different. I think that it's very easy to see someone's character as a friend, because now you're not putting on a show for me. I'm your homegirl, we're hanging out. I don't have to take you on a date and see how you treat the waitress to know if you're a good person or not. I can hang out with you and I know if you're a good person or not. I can spend time with you. And I think the best judge of character, first and foremost, is God. I can go to God and say, hey, I'd like to be friends with this person. You shouldn't always go to God and say, hey, I like this man or I like this girl and I want to be friends with them and I want to hang out with them and I want to get to know them, or can I date this person? Sometimes you should go to God and say, hey, I want to make him my friend. Is that okay? Should I be doing that in this season of my life? Because just because I might be, like you could be lonely doesn't mean that this is the season for you to be dating. And you don't have to date to get to know someone. I think that's why friendship is truly the best stage to get to know someone. There are no boundaries. There is no fakeness. I'm not putting up a facade. I'm not putting on a show. If, let's say you and your mom get into an argument and your homegirl's at the house. That's my homegirl. We argue. Me and my mom, we arguing. But if it's your significant other at the house, 9 times out of 10, you're going to bite your lip. And you're gonna deal with it when your significant other leaves. But now, as your friend, I get to truly see how you talk to your mom. And I get to truly see how you deal with things when you're angry. It's super important. I know we're in a dating workshop, but let's not negate friendship. Friendship really is where you're gonna learn someone. You're gonna spend time with someone. You're gonna get to understand someone. What are they doing with their life? Because you can tell me all the things I wanna hear. Oh, I aspire to open this business and I'm doing this. A month later, he's tired of doing the business. He's tired of doing this. She's tired of doing that. That's just the reality. It's really important that you spend time in the friendship stage.
And I agree with that. But for those of you who are online dating, Hinge, that doesn't work. Yeah. If you're online dating, you're not gonna be their friend. You're already going with the intention of knowing that this is gonna grow into something more. So, and that's why I said it's very subjective to what phase and what kind of person you are. If you're on Bumble and you're on, I hope you're in Hinge, it's a little better. If you're on Christian Mingle, if you're on Tinder, if you're on Plenty of Fish, what else is out there? The League. Yeah, you know, if you're on those websites trying to find someone, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that, to be clear. Some people just don't have the time to meet people, you know, casually in the street. It just doesn't happen all the time. Or if you meet someone and you're at an event, then being a friend is harder. So I think that sometimes we also tend to ignore what we see. Because we're lonely or alone or we don't want to be single anymore, there are things that we are willing to ignore and compromise on that we know we'll only be able to compromise on it for so long. And that we know that eventually that adjustment has an expiration date. And I think it's dishonest, especially for all of you who are listening to me right now. If you are a Seventh-day Adventist and you're dating someone who is not Seventh-day Adventist, I need you to listen to me. It is not that you are unequally yoked because you go to different churches. That's not it. Adventism goes beyond just the 28 pillars of faith that you hang on to. Because Adventism is a lifestyle. So it's not just my beliefs in God and the Holy Spirit, because I have found plenty of people outside of our churches that I get along with better than some of the men I've dated in the church. However, there are some ethical and moral things that we can't get down with. I remember going to dinner with someone and he ordered crawfish and I ordered the check. Because that's not something that I'm willing to compromise on. There are people who don't care if they eat pork. There's some Seventh-day Adventists in here that eat pork. So they're here, Elder Straker, trust me. They're here. So what I'm saying is, when I say you've got to be true to who you are when you're out there dating people, that's what I'm talking about. You may be willing to compromise on some things, but you may not be willing to compromise on others. And the bigger part that I see, if you're gonna go date, and if Josh, he says that the intention of dating is marriage, then if I'm gonna marry this person and I'm gonna procreate with this person, are their morals and their values and their bad traits things that I'm willing to pass on to my children? Because that's the part of them that I'm gonna raise, the part of them that I don't like, and the part of myself that I don't like. And so those are the questions that you really got to be asking yourself and not settling for someone just because you found one. You found one, sis, you'll find 7 more. And brother, same thing to you. Because apparently, according to Josh, we can't even approach you guys. So that's all I gotta say about that.
I just want to take a moment before we continue. We have our moderator in the house, Mr. Jonathan Coicou. We have the best of the best, man. Come on, what's a show without Coicou? Go ahead, Coicou, chime in.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much. I'll put back here. So good to be here. I apologize for the tardiness. I had a education day that went a little longer in Queens. And, you know, in New York, a mile is like an hour. New York is an hour away from New York. But I'm glad we made it. Thank you so much, Brother Josh, for organizing this. I love seeing this. Thank you to see Sister Karen supporting and your pastor, Pastor Mota. I mean, rarely do we run into a church and we have our pastor hanging around at this time, being able to interact and engage with the young people. So, and I say, okay, Brother Kenny, what's going on? Good to see you. So it's good. And we got people from Christian Fellowship here. Brooklyn, to me, should be the heart of ministry in Northeastern. You know, like my sister said back there, you know, and within a square mile of here, you've got a lot of churches, a lot of young people. And so she made that in reference to something else. But to see this happening here at Brownsville is amazing. So we're going to get ready to transition. Oh, sorry. All right. Awesome. So we're going to get ready to transition to the next section. I sort of came and just was sort of taking mental notes because it was some great points that were being added. We're just going to go one more section for today because of time, and then we'll go into a Q&A and wrap it up. Is that all right? All right. So here's our last section for today is the stage of intermediate dating. Intermediate dating. So before we go on to that, I'll just, for you, a few quick questions, and then we'll open it up to you guys of intermediate dating, right? So what does that look like, okay? Some people say that's up to you. Maybe it's asking a person out for, I don't know, a cup of tea or meeting them at the park, getting to know them better. Maybe at this point you actually know enough just to jump ahead and to ask prayerfully to consider a dating relationship. But the key thing is you need to respond, all right? So if your words or behavior are beginning to create in the heart and expectations of interest, you've probably waited too long. So it's important to state your intentions clearly as soon as you have intentions. So before we go in there, what would you guys say is intermediate dating? What is that next step? How do you define that? And then what does it look like to you, right? Because you're trying to be intentional, right? You're not trying to waste someone else's time. You're not trying to waste your time. What is intermediate dating to you? And then what does it visually look like? And be visual in your description for us here. My brother, I see your hand is up. So are they going to hear him in the back? Yeah. Okay, so we got the mic coming.
Intermediate dating, I feel like it's just putting a label on it. Girlfriend, boyfriend vibes. You know, after you got to feel each other out, you want to make it official. So, you know, word.
So after filling them out, I wanted to make it official. All right, what is making official? We're gonna go deep. We're gonna go analyze this. We're gonna add another Y onto that. What does it mean to make it official? Now I know your lingo, I know your slang, but there's some folk here who might not know what does it mean to be official.
So I feel like when we dating, we don't really have an obligation to a single person. Because my only objective here is to get to know you, fill you out in different situations, so we're not exclusive. Putting a label on it puts like, it's exclusivity. You know, I'm only seeing you, you're only seeing me, and now there's different rules to this game.
Okay, so I want to piggyback even more now. You can answer it again, or somebody else can get on top of that question. All right, my brother, so hold that mic, okay? Because you're going to answer this question. To piggyback, in the intermediate stage, so I like what my brother Isaiah said, right? Is it more so there's no one else you're talking to at all? Is it just like, hey, it's one-on-one, that's intermediate? Or do you agree with my brother said that, hey, intermediate is still not fully making that decision yet. What do you say? Yeah, you got the mic, bro.
Oh, I was about to answer the first one.
All right, go for the first, and then we'll go to the second one. Go ahead.
All right, so I would say the first is flirting and then actually having a real conversation about it.
Okay, you said flirting?
Yeah.
And then, okay, well, now what's that to you? And you know, yeah, what's that to you?
So it's like giving hints, playful hints, being like, you know, not playing games, but like saying things to allow the other person to get the hint, like saying like, no, not like, yes, compliments, but something like, hey, you know, when you're gonna invite me out to this place, or like, yeah, hold up, or like, yeah.
So that's what flirting is to you. So trying to give indication that there's an interest, but I know you say that and we know what that means, but we have to keep pushing. I'm gonna keep pushing you. We have to keep pushing ourselves and not make assumptions, right? So what even that? So you're saying perhaps when can we meet? Can we meet up or something along those nature you would say? Because some people, you have to spell it out for some people.
Yeah.
There are some people who have dropped the ball. There's some brothers I know who we've dropped the ball. We're like, hey, do you want to go for a walk across the Brooklyn Bridge? She's like, okay, but she wants to get her 10,000 steps for the day. So she's killing two birds with one stone. And then now you text her and say, hey, I'm really feeling you. I really would like to, get to know you better. And she's like, I didn't even see him like that. And now, I see you as my brother. Oh my God. I mean, I see you as my brother. All right, so we got a hand there. Then we'll come back to you, my brother. And then the panelists are experts here. Y'all, hook us up. Go ahead over there, yep. So we want to be specific, right?
I think at a certain point in between two individuals, especially as a man, let me talk about myself. As a man, I will know if a female have interest in me or not.
Okay, how do you know?
You will know.
That you're being vague. I'm gonna push you guys. How do you know?
The point that she made about friendship earlier.
Okay.
She mentioned about friendship.
Okay.
Right. There's an attraction that comes along. If you're looking to get yourself involved with somebody, even in friendship, there must be attraction, right? You must have an attraction. So even when you're friends, there's a feeling that you feel that makes you come to that person, into that person. And yes, like you said, it may not be reciprocated. Mm-hmm. The person may not be feeling you that way.
True.
But I'm saying, if you, in that period of time of friendship, as you call it, don't know if that person is coming to you or have an interest to you, then you're wasting your own time. So I'm saying, within that period, let's say a year you're in this church and you see somebody that you like, they look nice, they're pretty, and you attracted that person. If it's in that space of the year before you actually tell that person that you grasp her attention to you, to be attracted to you, then that's not the person for you. So don't waste your time.
So then, all right, and then we're gonna come to you. We're gonna come to you guys, and you guys got it next. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, we're gonna bring it right back to our experts up here, and those in the hot seat. What happens though is, because you're right, you know how you feel for sure. Especially as brothers, we know how we feel. There's no second guessing, right? I never have to second guess how I feel. But what if I'm wrong in my assessment and my analysis? And I'm praying about it, but sometimes God doesn't work at the pace I like, and I want to rush it sometimes. And I'm just like, well, I see what he likes. Some guys get to the point where we'll go and we'll look at your social media, and you see all the guys commenting and all this stuff. So if I got to make a move because somebody else is trying to make a move out here too. Sometimes I might rush God's process or whatever. And so I know how I feel. What do I do if I don't know for sure how you feel? And then after that, if I do express myself and say, well, I've really been feeling you, and you're like, sorry, I see you as a brother. What happens when I walk back in here and I have to see you Sabbath after Sabbath after Sabbath again? It almost is like I'd rather go, I don't want to say it, so I'd rather go to that other church that starts with an ND around the way.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
So my response to this is this, right? We all have someone that we attract to. This is how I see it. Everybody's not for you. She, like you said, and you got to know what you want. And me, I don't waste time. No, I'm just telling you the truth. This is who I am. I'm a real person.
Yeah.
If I like you, I'm not intimidated by nobody.
Yeah,
If I'm in a room, you're gonna know I'm in the room. That's the bottom line. I'll tell you that.
Definitely
Listen,
feeling that. That's right.
that's how I am. If I see a sister and I say, "Yo, you look nice today," and that's friendly. To me, that's friendly.
Yeah.
And if she can't get a hint by me saying you look nice today, and the way I say it, and if she is attracted to me, trust me, she'll find a way to come, or vice versa. Or I'll be like, let me get your number. That's how I am.
Yeah, I see what you're doing. It's pretty clear.
And some girls may not like that. If you don't like that, you're gonna move on. You're gonna make it known that, or you'll find yourself not being around that person.
Yeah.
And that's how the world works. If you attract to somebody you like, attraction will always meet together. Bottom line.
Good. I think that was clearer. Go ahead, my sister. We're back to people in the hot seat now.
I just want to piggyback on that. You had a very good point. I think the problem with being super direct, like, oh, I'm attracted to you. I want you. I'm going to have you. I'm going to get your number. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to date you. I think the problem with being super direct is you took away the biggest first step, which was asking God. There's nothing wrong with getting to know someone. You're right. There's completely nothing wrong with dating and chilling and having a good time. I mean, as long as you're not fornicating, there's really no sin against it. But I think the problem is if you're truly serious about dating, and that's the thing that I think Pastor said a very good point, was that everyone looks at dating differently. Some people look at dating as very, very important. They hold it to a high standard, where it's like, to me, getting to be your friend is way more important than dating you. I think when I'm dating, for me, when I'm dating someone, I'm truly dating to marry you. I'm not dating to have fun and, oh, okay, I like you. Nope, next. That doesn't work for me. Everyone's different. But for me, I'm speaking from my own point of view. I'm just one person on the panel. For me, that doesn't work for me. I think for everyone, it's different. That's why I truly encourage people, you can never go wrong with being someone's friend. And you could like someone, and you can be super direct, but that might not be the season for them. Some people have a season where they're like, God, I'm not dating right now. And that's why it's so important to ask God, like, hey, is it the time? Because there are things that God knows, which we all know, that you don't know. So you may want to talk to them. And some people might sit there and find, oh, he's just too on me, or he's just too, he needs to do this, he's just too much. And then you lose your opportunity. I think it's super important, first and foremost, to encounter God. And you might feel like, oh, like that's just old school, or that's just a waste of time, or just I just really want the person. How could I be incorrect? You can always go incorrect when you don't encounter God first. That's first and foremost. In a career, in a relationship, in a marriage, just because you went in front of the pastor and he ordained it, don't mean he wanted it. Don't mean God wanted it. Let's start there.
So, hold on. Wait a second. Oh, Pastor.
Yeah, we're going to let Pastor Mota go, and we'll come right back to you, Brother Josh.
Let me respond.
She's about to
Yeah, we got Pastor Mota go, and then...
Pastor, go ahead, Pastor. Go ahead.
So when Jacob sees Rachel in the Bible says he beholds and he weeps. He said, my Lord, what manner of a woman is this? And he wept and he kissed her feet. And he was like, I'm gonna work forever if I could just have you as my wife.
And what happened?
He got her sister and he kept working for her.
Because there were rules. There were rules in place prior to that. There were rules in place where the firstborn.
No.
That's the thing about
her dad deceived him. No rules. Her dad just deceived him. And that's my point. I think that sometimes, and we got to be careful about this. I think that sometimes we want God to make decisions that he has equipped us to make. This is a very controversial point.
They ganging against me, y'all.
But sometimes, I'm not ganging against you. Sometimes, because I prayed for my husband and now he's my ex-husband.
Well, we can't necessarily blame God on that.
No, I'm not blaming God. But what I'm saying is to put it solely on God is to remove your responsibility, because God said, I have given you, life and death. And some of these men will lead you down a road of death. And some of these women will lead you down a road of death, but you still choose them. So I believe that there is a power of choice that God has given every single person, where you're able to look at someone and say, I know that this person is not going to put me or push me or walk with me in the direction in which I want to go. And so to tie your horse to that wagon, that's on you. That's not on God. Because a lot of people pray for things to happen, but then they move on their own. The same Jacob, by the way, prayed for God to free him from his brother's anger, and then he chose to still divide his camps and go two separate ways, which is why the angel shows up and fights with Jacob, because he's trying to get him to understand that if you really give it to God, then leave it to God. But you have some decisions and choices that you've got to make for yourself. And that's just, my birthday was a couple days ago. It's that 36.
Can I one more question on that?
There is the choices you have to make for yourself. But the insight, what I'm saying is get insight from God. Everyone knows that when you ask God, should I be dating this person? That's one prayer he going to answer first. He going to answer it so fast, you didn't even finish amen. He going to tell you. But my point is that get the insight from God on that person. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's true.
But I'm
we're gonna get you just because of time, right? Because we gotta finish in before 6, right?
He has 2 more stages, and then we could ask questions.
So this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna merge 3 into 4, and then 5 is pretty much a little more is engagement, because intermediate is after intermediate we go to making the decision, and I think we're already naturally spilling into that. So just to let you guys know officially, we're merging into making the decision, and then we're gonna wrap up on engagement. That's it, all right? Just to save time, okay, guys? So we keep the rhythm of what's going on, but we're merging into making the decision. I want to just piggyback on those comments, and then I know people have their hands. You made a good point, Pastor Mota, about the choice being ours. What influence? Okay, someone says to you, well, how do I know I'm making the right choice? What should influence that decision making and a choice more than anything else from your perspective?
It's exactly what, I'm not disagreeing with what Karen said. And that's the thing. What we're saying is the same thing. It's not an argument. What I'm saying is I have the power to choose someone, but I have the responsibility to know if this is the right person for me. I may not know that in the moment because, of course, we are human beings. And what's going to draw me to someone is not their godliness from the minute I see them. That's dishonest. Okay? Like, hello, what? So, I mean, unless you see them on a pulpit preaching, even then, you don't know who they are when they get off that pulpit.
That's true.
Because I'm pretty sure that there are girls in here that have dated male pastors, and they have stories about who those guys turned out to be. So what I'm saying is it is my responsibility to pray about whom I found. And that's where that comes in. How do I know? How do I know? Ask God to reveal things about that person to you. And by the way, God doesn't speak the same way to everybody. Some people will have dreams about the guy. Some people will have an encounter where they meet someone who brings up the person. That has actually happened to me. Some people will have the ability where their parents call them and say, hey, I had a dream about you last night, and whatever road you're going down, don't go down that road. All of those things are God's way of trying to let you know, hey, stop. Full stop, right? And then there are ways for God to say, keep going. Right? There are things that God does that make you want to dive deeper into this person. So I think at the end of the day, the Spirit of God will give you insight, but He can't give it to you if the avenues of your eyes are not open and your mind and your heart are not open to receiving that. I don't know what's best. And I've got to rely on God's word to lead me that way. And if I'm only full of self, then how on earth can I expect God to tell me where to go?
Wow. Wow. You want to add my sister? Go ahead, Sister Julie, and then we'll take anything from the.
Before Samson was born, he knew who he was supposed to be. But Samson didn't stay in his purpose. And even when he said, Mom, I found a woman, go fetch her for me, she says, Child, can't you find someone amongst yourself? Wife number one deceived him. And then he went back, and wife number two deceived him 3 times.
And God still blessed him.
And God blessed him, but he had to bear the punishment.
There it is.
We have, you know, this 6-figure guy, he's handsome, and we don't see, and I'm gonna go there, we don't see that Christian Grey. You know Christian Grey. We don't see that this person is in actual fact demonic and is gonna bring our downfall, and we keep pursuing that person. God is not gonna let us go there. Right. Because you're not praying and asking God for insight. You're saying, God, just like Cain, accept the gift that I bring to you.
Right.
Ouch.
I am not
Wow.
this gift that
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying.
gift that I am bringing.
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. That God will still bless you in the middle of your mess, but that doesn't mean that's what He wants for you.
That is gonna detail your purpose.
All right, we've got a comment over here. Yeah. I think there was another hand over here too somewhere. Again, my brother. My sister. So one, and we'll work our way back in, okay? Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, I can talk.
Testing.
The analogy you just used with Samson, what you don't realize is that God spoke to Samson through his mother. God told him not to get involved, but he did not hear God. But you see, the statement Pastor make was great, because I am Jacob and here is Rachel.
Hallelujah, Sister Straker, you better say amen.
Must be nice.
Here is Rachel. and for 33 years of marriage, we are here.
How many years you said?
33.
Wow.
There are no perfect marriages. And we have had I usually use the word intense discussion. Yeah, but it does not negate the fact that we love each other.
That's right.
You understand? And so I believe in, if I see somebody and I'm interested in them, I let them know. I'm interested in you. But as a Christian, while I'm saying this to you, I'm talking to God. And let God direct me. You understand? Whether I should remain with persist that individual or remove from them. And God is going to give you signs. He's going to show you how to navigate.
Great point. I'm going to add to that, and we're going to work our way. My sister here, then my brother, we're coming back to you. Okay, my brother? We're coming back. Yeah, 1, 2. I'm just going to add something as Brother Josh on his way. My sister back there. So, I mean, that's a great point that you made. Marriage, as we're now in a decision, one of the biggest things is your decision has to be so sober.
Yes.
I don't even know. I could find a heavier word than sober. I would try to use a word heavier than sober. I mean, one thing people don't realize is what you see. You see let me speak from a male perspective, you see a young woman come in, and you'll see that she's attractive to you. 90% of the time in your marriage is not what you see. The nice outfit and the nice heels and the nice. It's not what you wake up to every day. It's not what you go to sleep to every day. Are there elements of that? Yes. Definitely elements of that. But the reality is, are you okay? I mean, the hair is not going to be done the same way. You're going to see them at their worst as much as you see them at their best. And you've got to be fully okay of seeing them at their worst. You know, there's some days my wife now works remotely. My wife works virtually. So when my wife worked outside, she had to get dolled up a lot more. She worked downtown Brooklyn, so she had to get, everything was done. I don't see that all the time now. And the love has to be the same. It's not going to go away. Right? So it's just like, it's more 9 out of 10 times when I get back home, my wife will be in ball shorts and a long Pathfinder Camporee t-shirt. And so the reality is, what are we connecting on that has nothing to do with this thing that I saw at first, or how I see her every Sabbath? When you see these people, these men you see Sabbath, some of them don't shave in a week. They look like a wolf in a week. Some of these women, you're not seeing that. So from a male perspective, you're not getting what you're envisioning and what you think what marriage is going to look like from day to day. It is work. It is a grind. You're rolling your sleeves up, and you're dealing with them in a sober way every single day in some way, shape, or form. So when we think about that decision and you ask God to lead you, I say, God, help me to make a sober decision. My sister, go ahead. Okay. A little more mic. I don't know if it's the mic.
I have a suggestion for I don't remember what her name is. Karen?
Karen? Oh, yeah, Karen.
This is for you. I'm going to be specific, direct. Listen, Karen, you are talking about being friends. You're going to make a friendship there. While you're making a friendship, I love your friendship, true. But what about the person on the other side who doesn't want a friendship but want a relationship? You know what's going to happen? That person who wants a relationship with the person you are keeping friendship with, soups, you don't see it again, it's gone, your chance is gone. Listen, you need friends, but you need a relationship. So you're going to build, Karen, on the friendship. God is going to bless you, yes, but don't wait too long until Karen S on the other side comes sweep away your best friend. Don't do that. Karen, please. The friendship lasts for so long. Now, put your foot down and said, make a move, or else you're going to lose.
Can I say something? You know what's so crazy? You know what? I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna come back to the next workshop with some words. I'm kidding. No, but I feel like God spoke to me through you. That's what I was saying. I think that's so funny because I was praying about something and then you said that. So go ahead, girl. See that?
Wow, that's a great. So God, that wasn't random. That wasn't random, my sister. That was not. My brother, go ahead. Yeah, it sure was. Go ahead, my brother. Can we get the mic to my brother over here? Thank you so much. And then we're gonna get ready to bring this home with our final thing, and then we gotta close soon.
I hope I wasn't misunderstood. I believe that we are all here believers, right? And we are spiritual beings. And our main focus should be on God first. So when I speak knowing that I know God. I've been knowing God all my life. But that's where I can be practical within this discussion that we're having here. So any decision I make or any choice that I make, God is always the center. So when I made my statement, is making a statement in a practical sense as a believer. Sometimes we as Christians, we get overshadowed that we have our everyday life to live. And that everyday life involves marriage. And I can ask anybody here, there's no perfect marriage in here. I've been married before. I've been married 12 years, have 3 kids, got a divorce. All right? I'm 38. All right? I have 5 kids now.
Say it again. I missed the last thing you said.
I've been married 12 years.
Yes,
I got
correct.
married at 21.
Wow.
I had 3 daughters. I had a divorce. I'm 38 now.
Wow.
All right. I have 2 more kids. But I'm speaking, yeah, really, yes.
Yeah, I mean, that's a reality. It's a reality.
I just had a baby the other day.
Yeah, that's a reality, my brother.
And I'm keeping it real.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
I have nobody to answer to but to God.
Yeah.
There's only one person who judges me, which is God. So when I speak, I don't speak intimidated and worried about what somebody else is thinking, because my goal is unto salvation. But what I'm saying is, when I make my statement, I'm making my statement based on the reality of me knowing God. But the practical thing is that this thing is real. If you're looking for a relationship, and the other person may not, it may be falsified. We have wolves and sheep clothing in church. We know that. But that's you accountability.
Yeah.
That's where accountability comes in with yourself.
Yeah.
If you truly put yourself to know God and you trust in God, right? The choices that you make should be led by God.
Yeah.
So if whether I am the straightforward type or the quiet type, women like different type of men. That's the reality. Some women like assertive men who's strong and know what they're about, and I don't see why some women will like some men who soft and scared and no. I think a man should be a man. God called a man to take control. And
Preach.
Yeah, that's the truth.
Yep.
So when I make my statement for you, I'm speaking about you in Christ, and that stage should already be covered. You don't have to worry about. Yes, you always have to talk to God. Speak to God every day about yourself. But a relationship is something practical. There's work. You grow in love.
Yeah.
You wouldn't love the same. Some days, love is a growing. You can't stop growing within love in a relationship. That's the bottom line. Some days you're like, wow, I don't feel the same way I feel about you yesterday. Because something happened.
I'm gonna stay with you. I'm gonna stay with you because we're gonna go to our last section to wrap up. So that I think that's a good transition in what you said to our last thing for today as we get ready to conclude is engagement. From your experience, and I'm so glad you kept it real, right? Because we're not going to get better and grow as a church community dancing around things, right? We've got to be straightforward about it. What in a perfect scenario, okay? You know, in a perfect scenario, what does making this decision towards engagement now look for you after your experience and your own personal growth with godly? Now, I mean, just in a simple way, right? Obviously, there's some details that go beyond what we can share here, maybe. But what does it look like now? Okay, engagement. What does it look like for you now?
I'll tell you what. With my walk with God, I realize with age, it brings a lot of wisdom. And my parents used to always tell me that.
Yeah.
It brings experience, and experience is important to have.
Yeah.
My mom used to tell me, "You sure you want to get married now?" And I used to be like, "Nah, I'm ready. I think I did it all." When I was 16, 17, 18 back in Trinidad. Right? I think, no, I'm serious. I think I thought I did it all. But I got married at 21. Because I see this girl and I think, she was right for me. I really thought that she was right for me, but, she was from Jamaica. There was some clash in her heads and different personality, and that's the reality. The practical thing is that reality happens. Yeah. Things happen, we separated. Now, I'm 38. I've walked that road. Still not ready yet. I'll be quite frank with you. I'm not quite ready yet, I'm not really looking because I just came out of marriage in 2016. So I'm just chilling. I'm just, just ministering. I'm praise and worship minister.
That's it.
At my church. But what I'm saying is that you got to be practical. Because your goal is already to make it to the kingdom. Our focus is already steadfast to the kingdom already. Well, my focus, I can't speak to you guys. It should be focused onto salvation. Because like I said earlier, there's no marriage in heaven if we didn't know.
There is no marriage in those couple years up there. Yes.
Okay.
If there's marriage when it comes back down, we don't know that for sure. Because if God created Adam and Eve to be together and a partner, why would he destroy the concept of marriage when we go into the new world? So,
when was Adam and Eve? I'm just asking a question, just for edification. Yeah. When was Adam and Eve
married? When they were brought to each other.
But you remember, sin already existed.
Repeat that.
Not yet.
Hold on.
Not yet.
Repeat the last thing you said.
Yet.
It was hard to hear you.
When did Satan fall?
Yeah, not yet.
Satan fell prior to Adam and Eve. Satan fell. God created earth. Satan already fell.
Satan fell?
Satan already fell.
All right. So
But they had not sinned. They had not sinned yet.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. I understand all that. Anyway, we can speculate.
Yeah.
But sin would still exist. Satan was
Technically,
the
you
first man.
can't.
All I'm saying is that God created something beautiful when he created marriage.
Absolutely.
So would you say that, my brother, from now with your experience, you're taking your time, you're not rushing, and it has to be the right thing, and has to be the right thing. Because I'm gonna bring that question now to you guys next, and then anybody else who wants to add before we close up. So what would you say is your final thing on that in terms of, so you said you're not rushing now, definitely not rushing. What would be the one last thing that makes you make that decision? And then you guys will answer that same question. I'm just giving you guys some time to warm up.
Let me give you the real, because like I said, I'm real. They know me. Everybody knows me. Whoever knows me, I'm very real. I am going through a healing process.
Okay.
Because I know myself. I know what happened within my relationship. I also know that I don't want to make those same mistakes. And if I know that I'm not ready yet, I'm not going to get married again until I am ready, mentally.
Correct.
And because of
And you're also not going to waste a woman's time that might be attracted to you.
Absolutely.
Who will go to you and say, hey, let me heal with you. And you're not going to take advantage of that because you know that these girls, sometimes we could be a little bit too giving.
Trust me, they know me.
Good.
I have a lot of
Well, I don't know you, so I'm making sure that other people hear that that's how you're supposed to respond to that question.
In this world I live in, I have a lot of females coming up to me.
Okay, so
like, I'm not ready yet.
Okay, so your answer, you're not really ready yet. Okay, that's fair, and I'm glad you say, listen, I don't have the answer. And you know, it's true, because sometimes we feel like we always have to have the answer. That's fair. That's fair. Like, listen, I'm not ready yet. So what we're going to do, just for time's sake, we're going to bring it up here. What do you guys say? We transition to engagement. The making the decision to engagement. What will influence and direct, right, your next decision, whatever that decision is for you? Spark Notes version.
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm speaking from my perspective. That's what I keep saying. I'm just speaking from one person. I'm going, once God says I'm good, I'm good. Once God says me and him are good, we're good. So if he loses his job, or God forbid, I don't wish that on anyone. God forbid, but just with the economy of today, if something happens, God says that me and him are good to move forward, then me and him are good to move forward. Personally, I'm not getting on one bended knee. He would have to do that. But once God says we're good to get engaged, and everyone's different, I'm very I move on God's accord. So if that means that I have to wait 10, 15 years for something, that's it. That's just a me thing. Everyone's different. I know you're like, everyone's different. That's just a me thing. That's a me thing because for me, I like security. I don't want to make the move and then something happens. I'm very no. That's just a me thing. I think how I grew up factors into that as well. But however, what I would say is once God says me and him are good, and God didn't just speak to me, God also spoke to him and told him, you and her are good, then that's the only thing that, in a sense, that's the only thing that would hold me back if God said no. But if God says yes, then nothing holds me back. That's just a me thing. Everything else will falter in. God is all-knowing. He's all-encompassing. He is omnipresent. He knows what's going to happen in the future. He knows what happened in the past. He knows how to make it work. I'm not worried about the 106-figure job. I'm not worried about that because you can have a 6-figure job that leads, a 6 or 7-figure job that leads you to an early stroke and an early death. I'm not worried about the 6-figure job. I can make it work. That's me, but everyone's different.
I want to ask one question and just give me a 10-second answer because I know it's about to be 6. 10-second answer. In terms of we being good, in less than 10 seconds, what's the most important thing that comes to your mind in terms of us being good in less than 10 seconds?
Just our relationship with God.
Both of your walk with Christ individually and collectively. Okay, it's good. All right. So,
I got it.
All right, good. You got it, brother? We're just going to try to keep it within 30 seconds just because of time. You got it, my brother.
Sister Karen, for you, please. Quick question.
Why y'all keep picking on me?
You keep opening up yourself to be picked.
Say it again.
She makes very interesting points, is what I'm saying. That's why I have a question for you. It seems like you have a great relationship with God, right? Because you mentioned him a lot within your decision making, which is great. My question for you, very simple. How do you know when God says yes? Because a lot of times God talks to us not obviously directly, but through actions or whatever he shows us. But then we doubt a lot of times when things happen. How do we know that God's telling me this, or is it me telling me yes?
From my experience with God, I'm gonna tell you right now, God speaks to me and don't start. Don't start, don't start, don't start. God speaks to me in dreams. That's how me and him communicate. That's just a me thing. Everyone's different. But God speaks to me in dreams, or sometimes he'll speak to me through a person. I was just praying about something, and I told you guys that that lady spoke on something. And I said, okay, I'm gonna move forward on something, God. For me, God speaks to me in dreams. I have taken jobs. I'm a nurse. I have taken jobs where God's like, I never told you to go there. And what happened? I have learned a very big lesson. Not in the sense that I've never gotten fired. But that's not the worst thing that can happen. I personally, just me, I've never gotten fired. But what I'm saying, I have taken jobs where I have went through the mud, dealt with things that I didn't need to deal with. You understand what I'm trying to say? Then okay, God, I'm gonna factor in your opinion on that. I have dated people that I didn't need to date with, that had prolonged certain things in my life because God wasn't gonna give it to me because that person was in my life. And God vividly spoke to me about that. There are things that God speaks to me about where he's like, I told you this. I know why I told you this, so stick beside that. That's why I said, for me, all I need is God to tell me yes. I don't need you to have the six-figure job or the six-figure body. Yes, I would like that, and yes, we as a partnership can work on that together, but what I need from you is to have God in your life. That's enough for me. And I know for some people, it's like, oh, that's not realistic. For me, that is very realistic, and that is enough for me. For everyone else, that's different. Because my income, I can support two people. I don't need to, I don't want to, but I can. I just say, because I listen to God, and even though I wanted to go to law school, God said, no, go to nursing school. I am good enough. I'm good. I'm good in where I'm at. So that's why I'm trying to tell you that I'm good on my end when I say I listen to God, and that's enough for me.
Okay, so within that experience, thank you for your response. You admitted to me that through dreams, God speaks to you, and sometimes you do doubt it, or you have doubted it before.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the importance of marriage is so high for you that when God tells you yes, you say yes without a doubt. Right? All right, that's all. I just want to ask you that.
Okay.
That's a fair question, and that's a fair response.
I'm pretty tense, so I don't want to go crazy.
And then you want
leave it at that. That's it.
All right, so we have Sister Jody into this, and then Pastor Mota, you're gonna bring it home for us, all right?
Well, for me, not only should he be a godly person, not only should he be a godly person, he should be a respected person. Because a person who doesn't respect himself would not respect me. And there are times when I could get a little mouthy, and I am no, if you gonna bang, you might get a bang back. So I need you to understand the meaning of respect. I need to see your interaction with your mother and your brother and your sister, because that tells me the kind of person you are also. I am big on family. So I am one of them who is mommy and them. And my mother did, eh? So yes, I'm the mother. So I am coming with brother, sister, and children. So I am one who is big on family. So those ones that don't want, oh, I don't want a family, and I don't have time for extras. I have time for extras, so.
Yeah, you gotta be upfront about that because if not, you're wasting time and their time. Good point. Okay, my sister, go ahead, my sister.
Hi. I just jumped in a little bit ago, but Pastor Michelle is insisting I speak. So I'll just speak from my experience. I've been married 26 years to the same man, and thank you, very happily. And I would say people change. People change. So the person I
That is a
married
fact.
26 years ago is not the same person I'm married to today. I'm not talking just physically, like you were saying, the six-figure can come, but it can also go. The body can be there, but it can be gone. But the thing you need to focus on is God the center of your relationship? Do you have the same values and morals? Because those things won't change. But everything else will. So if you make that the center of your decision, then it will be easy. And if you let God guide you, it's not going to be hard. And it doesn't take 6 years. I mean, my husband and I met, we were engaged 11 months later, married 9 months later. So, and everyone that I know that has a happy marriage, I know a lot of married people, but those in a happy marriage have a very similar story to mine.
Thank you, Elder Sestashi. I appreciate that. She's an elder from my church when I was in Texas.
Oh, nice.
She came up here for my birthday.
Welcome to New York.
That's my bestie. I just want to be clear about something. As you know, to your question, how do you move forward? Right, that last stage between the, am I going to commit to this person or not? I think the biggest question for me when I'm going to make that decision is, am I committed to the journey that we're going to be on together? It's exactly what Hanya said. People change. And it doesn't take long for you to recognize that people will change. It may take you 12 years. For me, it took 2. I was married for 2 years and divorced. And the person who I married was not the person who I was married to in the relationship. He became a completely different person. And what I try to explain to people is when you say vows and you say for better or worse, that's what you're talking about. And when you hit that worse, is that the person who you're going to be able to sustain the worst parts of yourself with? I had a really good conversation with someone the other day, and I asked them, what is it that makes you attracted to the person that you're dating? And the person responded to me, it's the way that we argue, the way that we fight. He says, there's no loss of respect. There's no name calling. There's no disrespect that's blatantly done. And that really helped me understand the frame of mind of what makes it work for you. I think a lot of times when we get into fights with people, we become their enemy. They become my enemy, and it's no longer me and you against the world. It's we're ripping this world apart. And so to me, that's the difference from moving from I'm dating you to moving to I'm committed to you and you are the sole person that I am with and I'm talking to you to move towards marriage. It's what will my journey look like if you are in my passenger seat? Because the truth is we're both driving 2 different cars. We're just driving down the same road. And so if our destination is to go somewhere together, there will be times that I will be too tired to drive my car. And I'll need to get into his and trust that he can drive me down the road. There'll be times that he will get tired and he will have to trust that I can drive down the road. So it's the journey that we're on together. And as we take that journey, and what I mean by 2 separate cars is until you're married, you should be in 2 separate cars. And when you get married and you get into one car, who's at the helm will depend on what you're doing. If you're a man, you don't have to do it all. There are women that are better in finances than you are. And that's okay. Know your lane. If you're going off the highway and you're exiting in, the kitchen, that may be his strength. I know some Caribbean men that can throw down.
That's a fact.
So if that's his lane, that's his lane. If my lane is finances, that's my lane. Let me handle the finances. If your lane is, hey, we need to rear the children this way, that's that stuff that we need to have those ugly conversations.
Yes.
Money, ethics, morals, diet habits, exercise habits. Because if you're a runner, you shouldn't marry me. You're going to be very mad. I'm going to be on the side with you like, run, honey, baby, go, go, go. I will not be running with you. But I will be at the gym squatting 600 pounds. And I don't expect you to be cheering me on the side either, right? I expect you to be right there pushing the squats with me. So you've got to know yourself. And when you are committed to being the best version of you, the person that will come along that journey with you will be the best version of them. And together, we'll be on a great journey together. It won't be perfect, like Elder Straker said, but it'll be beautiful along the way.
So true. I mean, that was rich. That was very rich. That was rich. Yeah, it's the journey is as valuable as the destination. It's as valuable as a destination. You got to be willing to compromise because you're going to have to compromise. And then she said, not everything's going to be your way. It is, again, one of my friends always said, it is a marathon. Pace yourself with God daily. It is a marathon. But I do know that we've gone past our time. This was really good. I mean, from the time I walked in, this was a vibrant conversation. This is a vibrant church. This is actually the first time actually coming into Brownsville Temple Church. And this is, yeah, no, you know, I drive by all the time, you know what I mean? But, oh, no. But it was, it's vibrant. The conversation is vibrant. And I really think that, and what I love about this is it was an intergenerational conversation. Everybody has something to take, and there's not a one-size-fits-all model. So thank you, guys. I know there's going to be a part 2 because there's no way. Oh, so this is a whole series. Oh, because this is really too much for one sitting. Oh, I love it. I love the series. This is really good. So thank you to all our panelists who came on. Julian, thank you so much, Sister Julian. Thank you so much, Sister Karen. Thank you so much, Pastor Mota. Thank you, Brother Josh, for leading out. And the pleasure was mine to be with you guys today, and looking forward to the next part of the series because we barely scratched the surface.
No problem, guys. Can you give the panelists a round of applause? I have a complaint. Yes, a complaint. So when I got married, and the pastor's not here who married my wife and I, during the marriage, when we were up there reciting our vows, right, he stated I could have 16 women. Listen to what I'm saying. Let me tell you. 4 better, 4 worse, 4 richer, and 4 poor. That's not 16? But, you know, this is just a humor. But, guys, we are going to have more of this coming up very soon. And the conversations are going to get really interesting because we're trying to create a safe place here in the Brownsville church. I don't know about any other church, but other churches are welcome to come to Brownsville. And if you're not feeling comfortable in your church to talk about it.
Don't recruit other church members. Stay at your church. But if you are not going to church, I would love to be your pastor. If you have a pastor, tell him we said hello.
I almost forgot who was, talking here. But anyway, guys, I appreciate everybody coming here. There was somebody who said, are we going to finish now? Yes, we're going to finish now. But it's too much to uncover in one session. So we're going to be splitting it up. And I hope towards the end of the year, somebody will find true love in here in this program. All right. And also invite us to a wedding, because that's what we're trying to do. You feel me? So if you do find somebody here during this session, because there are going to be other guys coming as well. We have guys that are going to be coming that's looking as well. Yeah, you will get married right here on the spot. Pastor, thank you. All right? Huh? But guys, let us stand up. Let us stand. And we're going to have Pastor give the last prayer.
Father God, we just want to thank you for the opportunity that we have to be here today. We thank you, God, for creating a place where we can come and worship together, fellowship together, laugh together, question together, God, a place where we can dialogue and talk about what it really means to live in today's world and still continue to hold on to godly principles. And so, God, we pray that you would bless the hearers of the program. We know, God, that everyone heard different things, but I pray, God, that they heard what they needed to hear in this moment, in this program today. Bless us as we continue to journey on these programs with you. Bless those that are here that are single, that are trying to remain holy, those that are single single and are struggling in their singleness, and those that are married and struggling in their marriages. God bless those who are in the in-between stages, and I just pray, God, that you would cover everyone here with what they need from you. And if there's anything in me that'll keep this prayer from reaching you, I pray that you remove it even now. Forgive us and keep us clean by you and your standards. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.